It's your boy Ty back here with another video. And in this video today, guys, we're going to be doing our awards for Season 5 of NBA 2K24 MyTEAM. Now, normally, guys, these videos are fun for me to do. Normally, I enjoy doing these videos. Normally, I have a lot to talk about during these videos because we get a lot of content during a season. Now, look, we did get some decent rush sets. We got some decent rewards, even like the level 40 and the ultimate rewards. Like, we saw some decent things throughout the season. But I think from top to bottom, this is probably the least excited I've been to do this type of a video. And it's fine, but that's just the way it's going to be. As we do up into our first award for the cheesiest card that we did see in a Season 5. We got 3 absolute cheese balls, 3 absolute 300s. We've got Austin Reeves, rush reward, James Harden, level 40 reward, and then John Havlicek as your salary cap reward. Now, I've personally never used Hondo. I've only played against him, but the card is absolutely fantastic. Now, for Austin Reeves, James Harden, it's a preference for who you like more. I mean, I can sit up here and tell you guys that I'm probably better than with Austin Reeves, which right now probably is true, but I know a lot of people who prefer James Harden to Austin Reeves. I think it really is a preference based between the two cards. Both guys are 6'5", both guys offensively are going to be fantastic, while defensively are just going to be okay. For me, personally, it's got to be who I personally have had the most success with, and I think that's Austin Reeves. Has that Pro 2 leaner. So tough to defend against. His catch-and-shoot release is fantastic as well. To me, the cheesiest card we did see this season. Next up, guys, the defensive player of the season. I can include Lonzo Ball because you can get him in the... You could get him in the pack market. Also, if you wanted to throw Gerald Wallace in here, you can, or you could have, because you could have got him off the Ascension. For me, though, I went with Dennis Rodman and Ben Wallace as my other two guys. Now, why Dennis Rodman at that small forward position is immaculate. I mean, my last week's Players Lounge tournament literally was won because Dennis Rodman was so good. Also do see Ben Wallace. Again, if you want to run him at the 4 and you're looking at just defensively, name a better power forward. I mean, literally maxed out on that end of the court. Problem with Ben Wallace is that offense can't really shoot. It's really limited on that end of the court, but defensively specifically, so good. For me, I'm going with Big Ben Wallace. Look at his stats, look at his badge. I'm pretty sure he comes with every single defensive badge in the entire game and max defensive stats. Again, if he could do anything offensively, I think as a community we'd be hyping this card up, but he can't. So to me, that's where things leave a little bit to be desired. But for me, the defensive player of the season. Next up, best shooter. Same as our cheesiest award. I mean, honestly, you could throw some other guys in here, but I looked at the cards and I don't even think we got a Kyle Korver type card. So best shooter, I mean, we went with the 3 same guys. Now, best shooter is a little different than the cheesiest. To me, best shooter, what do I think about when I think about that? I think if I'm wide open in the catch and shoot situation, who am I going to knock down the most shots with? So it's different than the cheesiest because we're not talking about movement. We're not talking about who I can score with the best. Purely in the catch and shoot situation, who is the best shooter for me? I'm going with James Harden. I'm a firm believer that I'm going to green more with James Harden compared to Austin Reeves, which is why he did win our best shooter award. Next up, guys, our most overrated reward. The only award, I shouldn't say reward. The only award I'm going to include gambling cards or level 100s. If you're like, Ty, what? These are not the best cards. What about Cade Cutting and Penny Hardaway? I'm not including gambling cards. The only thing I'll include gambling cards in is your most overrated. Any 100 overall cards is going to be in the overrated. These cards are not even that good. Number 1, they're not that good. Number 2, you rarely play against them. I promise you, there's not one person in the world that can beat me that has Michael Jordan. There's not. If you are the one that pulled Michael Jordan, not somebody playing on your account, if you're the one that pulled Michael Jordan, you're not beating me anyway. So it doesn't matter. These cards are all so overrated, and the Pink Diamonds can go out there and compete with these guys. You don't think Pink Diamond Devin Booker is better than that 100 overall MJ? You're wrong. Pink Diamond D-Book is better than that point guard MJ. He can move, he can groove, has a good release. I'm telling you, these cards are all so overrated. And for me, it's Michael Jordan as the most overrated card in the entire game just because he's probably the most hyped up 100 overall. Next up, our most underrated card. Now, this was a little bit of a tough situation here because, I mean, as far as like, again, it's a very limited sample size. And I feel like the rush cards are more underrated than the pink diamonds in packs for the most part. Like Tyrus Thomas isn't underrated. People know how good he is. I feel like Andrew Wiggins, I don't see him very much. And it's kind of crazy to me. Like, I think he is one of the best. He ranked #1 as my best shooting guard in the game. And I like never see people really running Andrew Wiggins, which is just crazy because the card is so good. Dennis Rodman, obviously, up next. I feel like when Rodman first came out, people were irritated that the grind was so long. And the grind is super long for Dennis Rodman. I don't think he was probably worth the grind. And more so, like, it was an easy grind, so some people were, like, hyping it up. I don't know if it was worth it. But, I mean, I do think the card is underrated. And last but certainly not least, Rafe LaFrentz. I mean, if you're looking for a budget center in my team, Rafe LaFrentz is that man. Great release, good height, good versatility, can play defense. Just a super good overall big in my team. For me, I gotta go with Dennis Rodman. Even for me, when this card came out, he was super underrated because I was on record for saying he's not worth the grind. And then I played in the Players Lounge with him, and he literally took over games. Getting right stick steals, just making things happen on both ends of the court. I owe you an apology, Dennis. You can move and groove a little bit in my team, and I am sorry I was unfamiliar with your game. Next up, our best deal of the day. I only had 2 guys in here between Bam and Peyton Watson. Could throw like E. Jinlian up here as well. He could obviously you could make the case for him. For me, Bam was 20,000 MT again. You lost like 2,000 MT, I think, on him within the last week, which was dumb because the card came out on a Tuesday. Shouldn't have lost value on a Wednesday. Anyways, that's besides the point. Other card here, Peyton Watson. For me, Peyton Watson was already cheap for his price. Like, I love Peyton Watson. You guys know, if you watch the channel, how much I love and adore the card. So for me, like, did I like Bam as a deal of the day? Yeah, I thought he was actually solid for 20,000 MT. Could play at a really high level. But you're not beating Peyton Watson. When it comes down to, you know, balling on a budget, you are not going to be beating Peyton Watson. It's just not going to happen. The fact that he was on sale for way less than his original price is just icing on the cake. The card was already one of the best budget cards in the entire game, and the fact that you could land him in the deal of the day doesn't get much better than that. Next up for our award, best reward card in a Season 5. James Harden, Allen Houston, MosBallin. You could argue a lot of other cards like Christian Laettner could be on here. I didn't include any of the rush cards. These are basically mode rewards, level 40s, your ultimate rewards. That's what I really wanted to think about with the rewards. For me, James Harden, point guard, relatively simple, so good, still one of the top point guards in the entire game. Allen Houston, one of the top shooting guards in the entire game. And Moses Malone, one of the best bigs in the entire game. As much as I hated this season in general, didn't like this season, I'm not going to be one to hype up this season at all. We did see a lot of good free reward cards in my team. Can't really hate. For me, I'm going with James Harden. I think this card is so good and is going to be good for the foreseeable future in my team. Next up, guys, our best rush card of a Season 5. Andrew Wiggins, Austin Reeves, Dennis Rodman, the cards I went with. And even if you wanted to include James Worthy on here, you could have. Even if you wanted to include another, your favorite rush card, go for it. These are the 3 that I personally went with. These 3 are still in my lineup to this day. I think Andrew Wiggins is shooting guard 1. Austin Reeves is shooting guard 1 or 2, or point guard 1 or 2. Dennis Rodman is up there at the small forward position as well. All 3 of these cards are fantastic. I do think Austin Reeves, he was the longest grind, but I do think he was the best rush card we saw. And if I'd have known he would be as good as he was for as long as he was, I wouldn't have hated the grind as much as I did the first day Reeves came out. It was a long grind, but he is the best rush card we have seen this season. Next up, guys, the MVP of his Season 5. And you guys are probably like, another one of these cards, or another one of these. Yeah, these cards are basically copy and paste, but it just goes to show the limited amount of cards we saw this season. Austin Reeves, James Harden, Andrew Wiggins are the three cards we see here. For me, guys, again, it's a preference between Austin Reeves and James Harden. I think it's tough to put Andrew Wiggins in that conversation just because he's a shooting guard for me. I'm going with Austin Reeves. Next up, our all diamond team. Pretty limited in the cards we could choose. We didn't see a lot of diamonds this season, and we surely didn't see a lot of good diamonds. These are the diamonds I went with. John Starks at the 1, Bruce Bowen at the 2, Danny Manning at the 3, PJ at the 4 with Marcus Camby at the 5. For me, it's not going to get much better, especially defensively, for your all diamond team than this. Next up, guys, all pink diamond team. Dyson Daniels at the 1, Franz Wagner at the 2, Tyrus Thomas at the 3, Jaren Jackson Jr. at the 4, with a big array full of friends at the 5. Really solid, complete all pink diamond team that I think could go out there and compete at the very highest level. Last but certainly not least, our all Opal team. All dark matter team, all 100 overall team. We're not doing that because, again, those are gambling cards. But our all Opal team, AR at the 1, Andrew Wiggins at the 2, Dennis Rodman at the 3, Shangoon at the 4 with Christian Laettner at the 5. If there was anybody I missed in this video, let me know that down below in the comments. Drop a like on it, subscribe if you are doing it. As always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.